What's up, guys? Back with me is here. We got Smallville Season 3, Episode 3, Extinction. Okay, so this episode starts off with a guy named Jake, and he's talking to his friend Van, and he's like, since Lana's single now because of breakup with Clark last episode, he wants to go ask her, and all he can say is hey. So, and she says, hey back. So, and he's like, real. So, while Lauren is swimming, that Jake guy attacks her for some reason until that Jake guy shot down by an unknown shooter, and the word freak inside a meteor rock is laying next to its body. So Pete, Clark, and Chloe are trying to figure out. Actually, Pete and Clark are trying to figure out who did this, and Chloe's like, yeah, whoever killed Jake did this. So yeah, and Lex comes back to Luther Corp, and so yeah, while at Luther Corp, Chloe's like, hey, hey, Chloe, have you brought anything on Clark? And she's like, Clark's more friendship is valuable than a Daily Planet thing. And what does Lyle do with this information? He blackmails her, because that's what Lyle does. He says, hey, Chloe, if you quit working for me, your father's gonna lose his job, and you're gonna have to move to where he wants to move to. Lionel, blackmail, really? Yeah, so I guess Chloe's forcing to work is being now forced to work for him, so her father doesn't lose his job. Yeah, but back with Clark. Clark discovers a picture of Van McNulty's father, and he's like, "Is that your father?" And yeah, so Clark puts it together, and he's like, "Hey, Van McNulty's father was killed by Tina Greer in the season." Actually, he doesn't say this, but he says Van McNulty's father was killed by Tina Greer / turned imposter Whitney, because remember, Tina Greer killed that Marine recruiter who was going to tell Whitney's mom about his death, and Tina Greer killed him. So now Van wants revenge by going Terminator, as Chloe would say, on the rest of the meteor freaks. So yeah. And they go into a cabin, and Chloe and like, hey, why are we in this cabin? And she discovers, and Clark discovers, that he has a bunch of like wall of weird articles from the Torch, and one of them has Lex crossed out of it. So Van's next target is Lex. So Clark has to go save Lex, and he kind of reveals his secret to Van, because he kind of does, because his hand goes through the bullet, and yeah, his hand the bullet goes into his hand. So yeah, so Van's like, you're one of them, and he's like, yeah, does this meteor rock hurt you? And he's like, yeah. So yeah, so Van creates kryptonite bullets. So yeah, so he sees Clark talking to Jonathan, and Clark's like, am I like Van? And he's like, no. And he's like, Clark, what do you mean you're not? What do you mean you're not like Van? And Van sees this, and he's about to, he like loads up his gun, and when Jonathan moves away, he hits it, and it goes right through Clark's hand into his chest. And yeah, so yeah, Van, don't do this. So yeah, so what does he do? He goes, Jonathan, yeah, Lana kind of said that the life Smallville would be better if the meteor shower never happened, because Tina Gray's been after her. Greg Arkin was after her. Tina Gray was after her, and now this guy. They don't even mention Ian Randall, but he was actually after her. Yeah. So, and the guys who've been after Chloe are John and Justin. So, yeah. So, yeah. But Chloe's like, Jake isn't like that. So, yeah. But anyway, back to this scene. I had to mention that. So, anyway, back to this scene. Clark's. Sorry, I had to move my chair. Okay. I really like the chair, but no, sometimes squeaks. You know. Yeah. So Justin's like, hey, Lana, Clark, Clark was one of them. He's like, what? He was a freak, and I took care of him. He's like, what'd you do? He's like, looks like Clark Kent is out of the picture, and she's like, you killed Clark. And then she calls the sheriff's station, and she's like, hurry, Clark's been murdered. But too bad for. But unknown to Lana, Jonathan and Martha pull out the like the the bullet, and Clark's like, I gotta go fight Van, but you see, well, but they're like, no, Clark, you're out of rest. He's like, no, if I don't fight Van could go after more Meteor Rock people, and yeah, and yeah. So yeah, Clark also talked to Lex about how Van's father was killed, and yeah, so yeah, and Van just stuffs on it into his car and drives off. And he's like, he's like seeing on Clark is indifferent, starts to shoot his guns at Clark, and it shoots like a, and it seems like Clark's about to like get shot again, but Lana knocks out Van. Like, Clark, how'd you do that? And he pulls out to see he has tinfoil all over him. So yeah. So yeah. And Van's finally defeated. Van's defeated. I don't know where they send him. Don't spoil me. I really want to see this season for myself. So yeah. And basically, yeah. I think Lana says that she, yeah. Basically, yeah. Yeah. So basically, this episode was Van's defeated. Something happened, and how the episode ends. Yeah. So something happened. Yeah. So this episode was a really good episode. I really enjoyed it. Van, he was crazy. He just wouldn't stop. I get it. Like Tina Greer, he doesn't know it was Tina Greer, but Tina Greer killed his father, so he wants revenge on him. So understandable. But what he did, he tried to kill Clark and thought that Clark was dead. But he knew Clark's secret, so did you think that he had nobody? They were just gonna die? I don't know. And Lex, he returned to Lucicorp. Yeah, well, actually now I remember. Chloe goes to Lionel, and he's like, and he's like, when he's like, hey, he's like, and she starts talking about who bought. He's like, hey, the computers belong to Lucicorp, and he's like, yeah, and he's like, you were looking into Lex, and you better not look into Lex again, or something will happen. Threatening her now, first blackmail, now threatening. Lionel, just give it up. I guess he wants to protect his son, but threatening a teenager, first blackmail, now threatening someone. This ending is just. So, hope you guys like, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon. I'll see you next Smallville.